Organization of Latino Social Workers is the only national professional organization representing Latino social workers. How are Latinos here in Michigan supported by this organization? Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers. Joining me now is the co-president of the Organization of Latino Social Workers Michigan chapter, Dr. Pilar Horner. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So this organization has been around for a long time, over 30 years, but is facing some new challenges, some new issues, and perhaps focusing more on the Midwest and on Michigan. Where do you hope to take the organization and what do you see happening and what are your goals for the next couple of years?
Yes, that's true. The population of Latinos has really changed significantly, and we've seen different changes from the 2000 to 2010 census. And we're noticing huge population groups in the Midwest. And I think usually when people think about Latinos and Latino issues, they're mostly focused on states like California, Texas, sort of the southern area. And I think we forget sometimes that Michigan is a border state, and that there are issues that affect politically and socially and economically Latinos here. Michigan has had one of the only growths population-wise from Latinos in the past 10 years. And as such, we're trying to understand what are the needs of the community, what do they want, how can they better be incorporated into Michigan, and how can we meet the needs as social workers and as a social worker organization.
What are the biggest issues facing Latinos? And when we talk about Latinos, these are folks from a variety of countries.
Yes, this is a good point. So people often think about Latinos and they think just Mexicans, or they just think it's all one homogenous group. But really, it's a very heterogeneous group, and they come from Cuba, we have from Puerto Rico, from the Caribbean, South America, and each of those subgroups have different political, economic, and social histories that bring them to the United States. And then once they're here, they receive different treatment based upon those different histories. So in Michigan, what we're really trying to look at is a lot of Latinos are interested in the economy, and I think people often think that we're only interested in immigration, which we are, definitely. But the economy is a big issue. Also, Latinos experience the highest dropout rate of teens. That's a significant issue, and why is that happening, and how can we better address those issues with parents, with schools, with administrators? Another really important issue is health. Latinos tend to not have as much health insurance as everyone else. We still don't know what the impact of the Affordable Care Act is going to be with Latinos, especially the different groups and the undocumented and the immigrants. So we need to sort of think a little bit more holistically about how we work with this population to better incorporate them.
And on sort of another note, you would also like to see more Latinos enter the field of social work because they would be able to help those communities better.
That's right. I think there is a real need for, and a call, we really need to emphasize this call for more social workers in the profession. It's very hard to recruit Latinos to come to the Midwest to join a master's program. They tend to stay with their families in Mexico or California, and then coming to Michigan, it's cold. So it's very different, and it can be very isolating for students who want to receive a master's education. But it's very, very important that the field, the discipline of social work, make a concerted effort to try to recruit more Latinos into this field. They have not only the ability to speak Spanish, which some do and some don't, and I don't want to underscore how important that is. It is important to be able to speak the language. That is definitely an in. But social workers need to have more understanding about
the cultural connection helps as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. For more information on today's topic, you can visit olasw.org. Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Dr. Pilar Horner, the co-president of the Organization of Latino Social Workers Michigan chapter.